It's time for the 2026 spring sale, and with so many strategy games on discount, there's a handful across the genre that are worth picking up, from city builders to turn-based tactical to historical titles all. Let's get to it. Starting with Going Medieval, currently at 20% off for $24. Having just launched into full 1.0 release a few days ago, Going Medieval is a city builder colony sim that starts with 3 companions seeking a new life in a new land, where survival is the name of the game. As you build up your settlement, you'll research more advanced technologies, improving the quality of your buildings, planting crops for food and clothing, mining ores to refine into ingots for weapons and armor. Eventually, bandits and rival villages will envy what you have and seek to take it for themselves, so you'll need to build up spectacular walls and castles, create traps, and fend off the invaders to live another day. Going Medieval is one of the best colony sims out there, and while it definitely leans into the ever-present mechanics of certain colony sims like managing villager schedules, balancing villager traits, wild animals, and other people seeking to kill and plunder you, there is so much more to this one that it's enjoyable to play, like multi-floor construction, utilizing water mechanics to keep your people safe, and some solid seasonal effects that will affect your entire colony. Not to mention, I do love the low poly art direction that isn't the same asset pack used by 100 other games currently. Give this one a go while it's on sale and enjoy the complete game experience. Rolling right into the next simulation, we have Prehistoric Kingdom, 30% off for just $21. I've covered Prehistoric Kingdom a good bit on the channel in years past, and I've always touted it as the game Jurassic World Evolution wishes it could be, and that still stands. Still in early access, this game is the ultimate in Dino Park simulation, where you'll manage a wide range of dinosaurs and the tourists wanting to see them, with the ability to use standard templates for landscaping, building construction, and other management areas, or use completely customized assets to craft a park that's truly unique to yourself. What really sets Prehistoric Kingdom apart is that this indie team has had piece-by-piece custom assets, biome brushes with dozens of plants, trees, and textures, baby dinos, and so much more, well before its competition could even think about it. And they've continued to innovate, allowing you to build your own food systems to save costs on feeding your dinos. They're introducing lots of new animals across millions of years for free, and do so at steady intervals to inject more life into the game. If you're a Jurassic World Evolution player, or you'd rather pay 50% less than the franchise game, I cannot recommend Prehistoric Kingdom enough. The last of our simulation games is going to be Skylines 2, 30% off for $35. Normally this game wouldn't make the cut, as even on discount it's a bit outside the comfortable price range for a sale video. However, if you've not kept up with the game, a lot is going on. Skylines 2 is a gorgeous city simulation game and successor to the most well-known city builder, Skylines. You'll construct neighborhoods, downtown districts, juggle traffic, education for jobs, education for education, industrial complexes, and that's barely scratching the surface. But more importantly for this video is a new developer. Iceflake Studios has officially taken over development of the game, and even in just a few short months has been able to address issues that have plagued the game since launch, and I'm optimistic that this trend will continue as Iceflake gets more and more comfortable with the ins and outs of the game. There's still a very long uphill battle with this one, without a doubt, but having read everything that's been going on lately, nabbing the base game for even $15 off and just having fun with the gorgeous city builder seems like a worthwhile investment right now. Out goes the worlds of simulation, and in comes the turn-based tactical with MENACE, 25% off for $30. MENACE is a squad-led, turn-based tactical game from the developers of Battle Brothers, where you command a group of soldiers looking to reclaim the lost wayback system from the factions that now control it. Featuring squad leader upgrades and abilities, a vast array of weapon types, accessories, armor, and vehicles, your ability to customize your squad is nearly endless. Once you've got your squad ready, you'll engage in planetary operations, completing a series of missions along branching pathways to increase good relations with different factions and upgrade your ship. Combat is an intense affair of turn-based tactical goodness as you fight rebel armies, pirates, local alien life forms, and a mysterious, menacing threat. MENACE's unique tactical mechanics and objectives will cause you to really think about what actions you want to take and in what order, as there is no typical initiative or order to your squad's actions. You'll have to utilize cover, limit your ammo expenditure, and really coordinate the abilities of your squads if you want to get out alive and with your squads intact. MENACE launched into early access in February and has received multiple updates to the game, with some serious plans laid out in their roadmap dev blog, including new squad leaders, planets, weapons, and accessories, along with a future UI overhaul across all areas of the game. There's no better time to pick this one up than during this sale. Next up, Xenonauts 2, 35% off for just $26. Launching into 1.0 on April 2nd, Xenonauts 2 puts you in charge of a top-secret military organization whose sole purpose is to counter an extraterrestrial threat. As the leader of the Xenonauts, you'll need to build bases around the world, recruit soldiers to investigate downed UFOs and other alien sites, and reverse engineer alien technology to upgrade your troops to fight against a superior alien species in some intense turn-based tactical battles. On the world map, your job has just begun, as you'll need to balance the various regions, preventing them from panicking to the point of nuclear war or falling under alien control, as well as convince the governments of the world that funding your operation is going to work so you can expand as the threat itself grows. Xenonauts 2 is hands down in my top 5 turn-based tactical games, and even if its graphics aren't top-notch AAA worthy, the combat gameplay itself is brutal and deep enough that I keep coming back time and time again, not to mention the recent updates to the Geoscape world map, and I could not be more excited for it to hit 1.0. Another solid turn-based tactical game incoming, Phantom Brigade, at 50% off and a much more digestible price of $15. In this mech TBT, a neighboring country launches a swift and brutal surprise war that quickly takes over your homeland. And with your military broken and scattered to the wind, you find yourself alone and against an impossibly large enemy force. But you have an ace up your sleeve. Just before the attack, you and your crew field tested a new tech that allows you to see 5 seconds into the future, allowing you to react supernaturally against your foe. Using this new technology in a mobile base, you'll liberate your country one region at a time, looting or creating better pieces and weapons for your mechs, and recruiting more pilots along the way. Battle functions in, you guessed it, 5-second intervals where you can see every enemy movement in that round, meaning you can move, shoot, dash, or bash against enemy mechs based on where they will be and what they will do. These battles are insanely fun to play, where the real tactics is trying not to blow up the enemy mech so you can loot their parts. Phantom Brigade got a substantial overhaul back in November of 2025, including pilots with unique traits, completely revamped campaign, and tons of quality of life updates to the game overall, which brought it from a fun but stale tactical game to a game truly worth diving into from start to finish, which you can see for yourself if you take advantage of the sale. Our last turn-based tactical game is Warhammer 40k Battlesector, 50% off for $20. This is hands down one of the best Warhammer games on the market, with the base game putting you in charge of the Blood Angels in an old school 20 mission campaign that takes place immediately after the devastation of Baal, their homeworld. In classic turn-based tactical warfare, you'll build up your army of Blood Angels, investing in new units and abilities to take on the Tyranids that destroyed the planet. Each unit has its own strengths and weaknesses, where you'll need to think about how to accomplish the mission without Leroy Jenkinsing it with your men against an unstoppable horde of Xenos. Fair warning to any parents out there, it wouldn't be a Warhammer 40k game if there wasn't a lot of blood and gore, doubly so as you're playing against Tyranids, so just a heads up. But wait, there's more. Tons more. Not only does the game have multiple campaign and skirmish modes, it also has a lot of DLC, adding in playable factions across the franchise, like the Astra Militarum, Tau, Demons of Khorne, Orcs, Sisters of Battle, Necrons, and the Black Legion, all of which are on sale at various discount levels. So nab the game on sale, pick up your favorite faction along with it, all in the name of the Emperor, of course. Out of the world of turn-based tactical and wrapping up our last 3 games with historical strategy, we start with Total War 3 Kingdoms, 80% off for just $12. One of the oldest games in this video, Total War 3 Kingdoms blends a turn-based strategy campaign map with real-time battles in ways that no previous Total War had really accomplished before. Taking place during the Three Kingdoms period of Chinese history, you'll pick one of several factions to play as, with famous historical figures leading the entire faction as you engage in diplomacy to secure treaties and resources, build up your cities economically through various farming, industrial, or commercial progression trees, ultimately funding the war machine that will allow you to exert your influence over your weaker neighbors and make your most hated enemy think twice before attacking. Three Kingdoms has two modes to satiate both fantasy and pure historical players. On the fantasy or romanticized side, you have legendary heroes and leaders who can literally take on thousands of soldiers at once in a dangerous dance of metal. On the purely historical side, your leaders are the classic generals, leading their men more tactically and grounded, and much more mortal. Three Kingdoms had so much going for it before Creative Assembly halted production, and it still holds up as one of the best Total War games that honestly borders on grand strategy with all the elements you'll be juggling while playing. It is very well worth this discounted price if you're looking for a good Total War game during the sale. Next up, Old World at 90% off for just $4. Imagine blending the family dynastic elements of Crusader Kings with the turn-based hex strategy of the Civilization franchise. You get Old World. Old World is unique in so many ways from your standard Civ-like game. First, it only takes place in antiquity, meaning you aren't leading your dynasty through thousands of years of historic evolution. Keeping the scope tight allows for more in-depth gameplay in other areas, such as leaning heavily into the idea that your dynastic leader is human, and as such, you only have a limited number of orders to give your workers, agents, diplomats, and military units every turn. You can't move 100 units in a turn, while also having your workers improving every single tile in your empire every single turn. You literally have to be tactical in how you expand and mold your empire. Then there's the dynasty itself. You need an heir, but do you marry your neighbor faction's daughter to secure it, or forge a deeper relationship with one of the four founding houses of your faction? Traits influence decisions that need to be made, and your son may decide to poison your uncle because of some heated exchange, or another house may be dissatisfied they only have 2 cities under their control while everyone else has 4, or a cousin whom you appointed to be your diplomat may have insulted the largest kingdom and now you're at war. What you choose to do in these situations is largely up to these RPG elements you and those around you have, and it makes for some fantastic empire building and gameplay overall. If this piques your interest, you can also check out any of the 6 thematic DLC that unlock new factions, new leaders, and new mechanics that really shake up what you can do in Old World, so definitely check this one out. Our last but no means least game is Ultimate General Civil War, sitting at 75% off for $8. One of my most beloved real-time strategy games and well played on this channel, UG Civil War puts you in command of either the Union or the Confederate Army during the American Civil War. Featuring a linear campaign that takes you through the entire war, you'll recruit soldiers into brigades, leveling up their skills as they gain experience through battle, juggle which units to equip with better weapons, and which order you want to fight battles in to gain reputation and supplies to continue the fight against your brothers. I'd be misleading if I didn't mention that in terms of campaign management, things are fairly light, as you have no control over campaign movement or the actions against your enemy in that regard. There's something deeply gratifying about gunpowder battles with large brigades of men utilizing cover, letting cannons wear down the morale of enemy soldiers, and the satisfaction of a full volley just ripping low graphic sprites to shreds and seeing the enemy run for it. Fair warning, this game was never fully finished in my opinion, and the last main mechanic involving manpower was never balanced. This means while it's definitely achievable to win the game as either side, there's a high chance you'll need autistic levels of tactics to make it happen. It's still a fantastic game, and I repeatedly boot it up year after year, and for $8, that's well worth the frustration as I yell at my sprites in rage. And with that, the end of this Steam Spring Sale video. Hopefully, there are some gems in there that you haven't seen or realized were on sale. Let me know what games you are picking up from the sale by leaving a comment down below as well. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.